Hey, I'm Wes Schaeffer, the Sales Whisperer. Thanks for checking out day 2 of my 7-day mini course on how to automate your sales. What I have here is something that's quite powerful and not too exciting at the same time. It's a calendar. I'm incorporating this now. If you're going through the series, you just read about my analogy of Jordan Spieth, the golfer that won the Masters, won a couple tournaments actually in 2015. And the importance of making incremental changes, 0.5%, 1% growth. It's the little things like that. It's the consistent, tiny little wins that add up, and it creates a cumulative effect that's huge. And one thing that I see people constantly misuse, abuse, ignore is the importance of a calendar. You can see here on my screen, I've got a Google Calendar, and I've used this for quite some time now. But you'll notice the different things, different events are color coordinated. It helps me with a quick glance see what I'm working on, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, whether it's business related. My mastermind is green. And I'm constantly playing with this. I'll throw a red in there sometimes if I really want to make sure that something pops and stands out so I don't miss it. But the late great Zig Ziglar, he always told a story about how much work you got done the week before, or even the day before you went on vacation. And he would talk about, and say, did you have any more time in that week or that day or that 8-hour work day? Did you work more hours, or were you just more efficient? You were obviously more efficient because things were urgent. You had to pack the car. You had to get on the flight. Those things would not wait for you. So you were able to push off. You were able to discern, right? You were able to delay or push away the things that were not important for that moment. And that's what you have to get good at to get good at sales, to get good at growing your own business. You need to schedule things out. You'll notice here in the mornings, I've got going to church, right? You'll also notice, let me get out of that, I build in time to work on my growth. So TSW growth. Build the weekly whisper. So I carve out time to write and to promote my own business, work on TSW growth, get clear on my offers and perfect my pitch. I got that idea from Orrin Claff, who wrote Pitch Anything, and he was on my podcast. You might want to check that out. I'd encourage you to. But I have my interviews, obviously, of guests. I am working on projects, but I fill up a good chunk of my day. Now you'll notice there are gaps because things do come up. If you try to schedule every single minute of every single day, you're going to get in trouble, okay? Because things will spill over, and what will happen is you're going to fall behind, and that's going to take away your motivation. It's going to really wear you down, and it'll totally get you away from even looking at your calendar. And that's not a good thing. So make sure there's room in there, a little wiggle room, a little margin for error, if you will, for the emergencies that will pop up. Okay, but you'll notice too, though, I've got my physical fitness built in here. I was doing yoga for a while. That was kind of cool, but I've got swimming because I'm always working on that. I'm a big part of this Tampa Bay Frogman Swim, so please check out helpwesswim.org and you can donate. But I build in time, okay, for work, for promotion, for physical fitness, for spiritual fitness. So you have to do the same thing, okay? Take Zig Ziglar's advice, take it to heart, and apply it in your life. Now, another thing that I did, I'll pull up this Pages document, and I go over this in the live course, and even in the do-it-yourself course as part of the workbook that you get. But I did this several years ago. I was in a mastermind group. And Henry Evans recommended that we do this. And it's a 15-minute tracker. So for an entire month, track your time in 15-minute increments. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, how can I do that? No way, that's too much time, it's too much detail, I'd go nuts. Now you notice here what I put in the workbook is from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. in 30-minute increments. And honestly, I did it because it's too much paper to try to figure this out. But in reality, if you were to come here, when I first did this, I just printed out my calendar for the week from Outlook or Google, whatever I was using, I forget at the time. And I just printed it out. It was on my desk. And, obviously 12 a.m., if I were to draw this out, I could type sleep here and just drag it down. Okay. So, you don't have to get too crazy. Now, you'll notice as well here, though, that these are 30-minute increments. When you're doing things like this, that's fine. You can click and drag through there. But what if, maybe I was sleeping until 5:15, so maybe I could put, sleep and journal. Okay. And you could see how you could increment like that. The main thing is don't get too hung up on the form or the technology that you use. Get a piece of paper and start tracking. Okay, now you may have time that you're commuting, you have time you're sitting on conference calls. It's rare that you'll do anything in just 15 minutes, which is why I kept this at a 30-minute block. But figure out what works for you and track it. When I first got serious about getting into shape, I found an app for my iPhone called My Net Diary. And what it does is helps you count your calories. So you put your current weight in and you put your desired weight and the date that you want to hit that weight. And it tells you how much weight you have to lose each day. And it tells you how many calories you have to burn each day to hit that goal. And so when you start pulling up things, it has tens of thousands of food items, everything from Burger King to a Bud Light to a Subway sandwich, you name it. It's got it. And you can add your own. But the old adage is if you can measure it, you can improve it. All right. So when you start to track your time, all right, when you have a calendar, and if you'll notice, you probably don't realize this, but these things like going to church, building the weekly whisper, working on my growth, yoga, swim, these things are recurring. Okay. So they're always going on. You'll see the recurrence. Okay. So I booked this into my calendar forever. Now, yeah, sometimes I travel and I'll move things around, but when I make time to work on myself, everything else begins to fall into place. But you don't know where to work on yourself. You don't know the areas of improvement until you start tracking it, and you track it in 15-minute increments. Okay, and it's that important. It's part of my paid class. This is giving you a little bit of insight into my thinking. But it's a bunch of little things done consistently, done well, done right, that leads to your eventual success. Okay, so stick with me on this. Like I said, we're on day 2. We've got plenty more to go. So thanks for registering. Please take the time. Make this happen. Take the time to read these emails. They're jam-packed with information. There's videos. I'm going to take you throughout the website as well to some other things that may be a little bit harder to find. I've got tucked away for people like you that have opted in. So it's kind of little, what do they call them? Little Easter eggs on a website, if you will. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with it. And I look forward to helping you automate your sales so you can sell more faster at higher margin with less stress and more fun.